Hey y'all, Money Rags here. What's happening? Um, a couple of things. Okay, so we watched three movies, and me and my wife, and we watched Smallfoot. Yeah, Smallfoot. Excellent kids movie. I loved it. Although Aaliyah, our grandchild, um, didn't care much for it. Uh, I enjoyed it. I mean, it was. I liked it. But I like movies like that. And my wife, she also liked it. Then we watched uh, Mile 22. See, I like movies that are suspenseful and have twists and stuff like that, and sometimes political. And this one had all of those things that I enjoyed. Uh, so I enjoyed this movie a lot. My wife, however, she liked the action in it, but as far as the storyline goes and stuff like that, she didn't care for that. Uh, uh, you know, I think it's Mark Wahlberg is in it. Uh, I loved him. He is excellent, excellent actor. Loved loved his acting in it. It was good. Then we watched what was it? Uh, Axel, AXL. Me and her, we love that movie. I mean, it was had good action in it, and if you liked Transformers and stuff, you would like this movie. I mean, it's suspenseful, uh, has lots of action, and the ending is quite. Uh, you can tell about it. I don't know. Today's been a rough day as far as hearing voices. They're not bad, but um, they're there, and they're a little distracting. So, you please excuse me for that. Um, let me see. Oh, I have an email account. It's moneyrags123 at gmail.com. That's moneyrags at gmail. Moneyrags123 at gmail.com. Let's see. What else? I'm going to have a recipe for you in just a minute. Uh, and stuff like that. There's a whole lot on my mind, and I'm having a hard time deciding where to start and what to say. Um, it's like there's Kevin Hart and stuff like that. You know, if he's apologized for it, just you know, for something that he did 10 years ago, we've all done things. I mean, if we're going to be crucified for things that we did in that far in the past, I mean, who's going to stop at 10 years? Why not go 20? Why not go 30? Um, See, I could never run for office. I got kicked out of Catholic school because of kissing a girl. Wouldn't stop. And so they dismissed me. And then my brother was thrown out. He was thrown out of the Christian school that we went to for quoting scriptures. Uh, yeah, it's the one chapter in it. I think it's Song of Solomon. Anyway, uh, Song of Psalms. I think it's Psalms. Not too sure. My brain's going 100 miles an hour. But he was kicked out for quoting that. He was saying it to one of the girls that and he wrote her a note with that particular verse in it, and he got kicked out because I guess it was like, your breasts are like mountains against the da 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 da. Anyway, long story short, he got kicked out. I stayed for another year, then went to public school, and there was fighting and stuff like that there. So I could never be in political power, only because, if you're gonna start crucifying people for things that they've done way far in the past, that's just to me is ridiculous. We all grow, and we change, and we make mistakes. As long as we learn from our mistakes, I mean, why should we be crucified for it? I mean, those short term. I'm not talking, short term stuff, because you should always have to pay a price for doing what's wrong. But there's got to be a cutoff time. There has to be. It's just ridiculous to me that people are doing that. Especially what's done in the past. Like I said, we all grow. And he's a comedian, and he said it in some of his comedy skits, and maybe how he felt at one time. But he's grown from that. And I mean, when we stop making fun of ourselves and we take ourselves too seriously, something's wrong. Something's messed up. You just can't do that. Like I said, there's so many things in my past that I've done that, I could never be in politics. Let's see. Oh, let's talk just briefly about the wall, Trump's wall. I'm for it. I mean, he should get the money for it. It's been it's one of his campaign promises, and da 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 da. And it's funny how when it's the Democrats that want the wall, it's all good. But as soon as Trump says he wants a wall, it's a no deal. It's, oh no, we can't do that. Just because, I mean, like I said, I've said it before. If he said the leaves on the tree are green, the Democrats would be, oh no, it's not, or that's a tree. And Donald Trump said, that's a tree. Oh no, it's not. They'd come up with something else. This government shutdown, those are some of the risks that are involved. You have got to, when you sign on for that kind of government work, it's in your contract that, just in case there's a government shutdown, you're going to have to work, and you may have to work for nothing. So you get compensated for that over a long period of time. So be it. Those are the risks, but the reward is that you get paid more. So, I mean, is that, as far as everybody's complaining about the government shutdown and everything else like that, it's sad that the Democrats are saying that the Republicans are holding hostage when it is really the Democrats that are holding hostage. And not all Democrats. I'm just talking about like Nancy Pelosi. I said no border security. And these are the same people that, like Nancy, I'm sure she's got her own security detail. She gets out of her car, she locks it up. She goes home, she locks her doors. She probably has a security system on it. Doesn't every American deserve that type of security? And it starts with our borders. Uh, it does. It just starts there. I mean, they want to say, open up the borders, open up your house. I want you to, I want you to send me your address to your house. I want you to take the door off of your house, leave the keys in your car, and trust me with everything that's in there. You're not going to do that. Um, Although my neighbors, they trust me. I can go to any one of my neighbors' houses when they're not home, and they'll let me enter their house or whatever, because I'm perfectly honest and I try to keep to myself. So I only ask for or need things when I absolutely need them, and then if they break down or something, I have to replace them. Which is why I don't borrow a lot of things, because I really can't afford to replace things. I mean, when I have to haul dirt, I've done it by the bucket full, the 5-gallon bucket full, and travel it from one side of my yard to another, just because I didn't want to borrow somebody's tractor, which would have completed the job in probably an hour that took me, a week to do. But I can't replace those things. I mean, if they want to come down with their tractor and they want to work their tractor, that's one thing. But I can't see borrowing it, because I'm afraid that, if it breaks down, I have to fix it. So I try not to borrow anything. Anyway, getting way off on things. Let me see. That's my feeling on those things. Just 1 second, I'll get that recipe for you. Okay, I'm back. Anyway, I want to show you something. Okay, that's Maddie and Scotch's. The small one happens to be the big one's mommy. Believe it or not, my service dog, that's the Maddie that's elusive and hard to get a picture of, because, I mean, she's just her own personality. Yeah. As soon as I break out a camera, it's like she goes and hides, or she doesn't want to do anything. So anyway, there's that. Okay, so today I want to give you one of my cornbread recipes. Now, it goes a long way as far as a traditional, up until I add an ingredient. You start with your cornmeal. Let's say, okay, we'll just do it like this. Okay, for a small loaf of bread, for cornbread, you would go 1 cup of yellow cornmeal, and then you do the 1 cup of flour, and you need 2 tablespoons of powdered milk. You need to use the powdered milk, or I think it's evaporated. Yeah, evaporated, not condensed, evaporated. Use like 3 tablespoons of it. I use powdered milk, only because I'm old school. Then you need 4 teaspoons of baking powder. That's very important. Make things rise. And then you do the 1 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now, I don't like to use a lot of salt. It's bad, so I like to reduce that. This is my mother's recipe. So anyway, I reduce the salt on that. And then you do 1 cup of milk or buttermilk, and I like buttermilk, so that's what I use, the buttermilk, and it turns out really good. 1 egg, 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, and you can work with that. You know how that goes. And then you do like a couple of teaspoons of wheat germ. I know it's an old school recipe, and a lot of these things are, but it's really, really good. And I've added 1 teaspoon of ginger, because I like ginger, and 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric. I find that the ginger, the turmeric, I'm very I put those things in a lot of things, whether it be a little bit or a lot. I like it. I know the turmeric will change the color of whatever you're using to its color. It's just that kind of thing. But I like whole things. I like things that your different spices and stuff like that. I'm a big believer in using this stuff. Like I said, I use garlic in almost everything. This recipe I did use garlic, although you could add a pinch of garlic to it, which I have done occasionally. And you don't really taste the garlic. I mean, you smell it a little bit, but you don't taste it. And that's just the pinch of garlic. I like it. What else can I say about that? It's good. So anyway, you know how to mix. You mix all that stuff up. You mix the liquid stuff with the liquid stuff, the powder stuff with the powder stuff. You mix it all together, and then you mix the liquid in with the powder. Then you knead it and let it rise and stuff like that. It comes out real good. I've had to hold my hands like this because I do a lot of hand gesturing a lot of the time. So I'm holding my hands down. I get really nervous. Like I said, today's been a real weird day for me. So I hope to be back in good spirits. Like I said, I have that new email. Anybody can email me at any time. I will email back. It may take me a minute. After my strokes, I had a hard time learning to. Hi, Maddie. It's my Maddie. I had a hard time. Here comes Conscious. I had a hard time writing and stuff, but I'm getting better at it. I don't like to do it, but I will. It's not that I don't like to, it's that I don't do it very often. And I need to. I need to do it a lot more often than I do. Anyway, that's my take on things today. I want to thank you all. I love my wind chimes. Anyway, money, regs, peace, guys. Love you.